Auburn's linebackers have a ton to prove this spring.
You are Locked On Auburn, your daily podcast on the Auburn Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes, welcome on into Locked On Auburn, your daily Auburn Tigers podcast. I'm your host, Zac Blackerby, and thank you so much for making Locked On Auburn your first listen every single day. Ben Taylor of the Auburn Network, Auburn Opelika this morning host, hanging out with us. We're talking about linebackers today because Auburn's linebackers have a ton to prove this spring. We all expected more linebackers out of the portal. They do get Xavier Atkins from LSU. Hadn't played a ton, has all the traits that you want. We'll see if he's able to put it together, but there's a ton of talent in this room. It's just who steps up this spring, Ben, to say, okay, you're going to be one of DJ Durkin's dudes in the middle of this defense.
Well, that's why I was asking you as far as linebacker coaches, who's going to be the main guy. And of course, it's DJ Durkin, who everybody seems to love to play for. So, I mean, you got that going for you.
Sure.
Where they're going to hang it out there. You mentioned the Atkins kid from LSU. Quick rundown of his stats. Save everybody to Google. He was in on 3 tackles. He had 1 solo, 2 assists. That's it. That's the only thing he has on his line at LSU.
Didn't play a ton. I mean, so much so where I think it was the game against Alabama. He played 1 snap and it burned his red shirt.
Oh, wow.
That was the 5th game or whatever. Yeah. Kind of brutal.
So, I mean, you get a guy that has been inside a pretty good program. You would think LSU, as far as especially defensively. I mean, take your personal feelings out for the head coach that a lot of people may have, but LSU pretty much known for being a fairly decent program. So he kind of knows the philosophy of the Southeastern Conference, but again, unproven. I don't know what you're getting. So does that mean, Zach, you talked about, does that mean they're looking for somebody in this next portal window that'll come up whenever after spring ball is, or is that what we're using spring for? We're using spring to see where we are in the linebacker room at this point.
Yeah, I think if you're a linebacker in this room right now going through spring, your goal needs to be, I need to prove to them they don't need to go get a portal guy after spring, because I do think it would make sense for them to add another guy. Robert Woodyard, I think he can be a dude. I don't know if I want him as the guy. I want DeMarcus Riddick as the guy.
Yeah.
So you feel good about DeMarcus Riddick. I feel good about Robert Woodyard if he's your second best linebacker. I don't love it, but I'm okay with it. But you need somebody else to step up. I'm sure they want it to be Xavier Atkins. It can be DJ Barber. This will now be his second year of college football. Then the rest of the room are all true freshmen. And so to me, it's like you either need a true freshman to step up, or you're going to need one more guy this upcoming portal window, which is where you saw them kind of get a few guys this last year. I don't think they're afraid to do that, but I just have a hard time selling myself on this room being done.
No, I think you got to get a guy, because as a coach one time said, when you start talking about starting defenders, whenever you look at your linebackers and you look at your coaches on the field, for every freshman you start, go ahead and put an L by that as far as your season is going. So if you got 2 freshmen that start at linebacker, there's 2 losses automatically before the season starts. Now, I don't know if that stat holds true or not. I just had a coach tell me that one time. I was like, well, it kind of makes sense. I mean, if you're depending on them to put everybody in position where they're supposed to be and they're supposed to play an active role, then yeah, it kind of makes sense that there could be some big plays that are being given up on the defensive side of the football.
Yeah. The only freshman I could see starting would be redshirt freshman DJ Barber if he takes a step forward. But I don't know. I also wouldn't be shocked. I mean, nickel is the new base, so you're playing less linebackers than you used to anyway. And there might be a lot of situations where Auburn has so many good safeties that they may play even more nickel than they usually do because of this situation. But the room, I think, is fine. But if DeMarcus Riddick or Robert Woodyard go down, you're all of a sudden exposed. And you just can't go into the season where you're 1 to maybe 2 linebacker injuries away from not having a clear answer as far as what your starting lineup would look like. So To me, they've got to add more.
So you're saying you need portal guys just for bodies, just to have a just in case? Because I do wonder if some guys see in the second portal portion that they're not going to do a whole lot where they are. If you get like a junior or a senior that wants more playing time, that you can say, hey, yes, we've looked at the tape just because of what we see out of you and your leadership role. We'd love to offer you a spot because you probably will get a starting nod. Also, I guess my big question is, as they say, from, as you get older and as you progress and the body type changes, I kind of wonder if Riddick's put on a few pounds. I mean, he already was super athletic, but everybody said, man, if he puts on 10 more pounds of muscle, just think how much of a super freak he's going to be.
Yeah, and he might have. I mean, he played kind of safety at high school, and so he's having to restructure his body. So I'm sure that's certainly
he's just a super
part
freak.
of it. Yeah, Riddick's awesome. Riddick's not the concern, and I don't think Woodyard's the concern. It's after that. Like if you told me Xavier Atkins takes this big step forward, I'd be like, okay, that's great. I still want more. And of the freshmen, like I think Elijah Melendez is ready to go. Yeah, but I want one more guy. I think I want one more guy. But if you're Elijah Melendez, if you're JJ Falk, if you're Bryce Diaz, these freshmen, your job is to say, I want to be good enough and have enough, faith. I want the coaches to have enough faith in me where they'd rather have me than, going out to get another portal guy. That needs to be their goal. But look, they lost a lot in this room a year ago, and they've added 4. They've added the 3 freshmen and Xavier Atkins, but just guys that they lost last year: Dori Mausi, Benaje Gote, Eugene Asante, Austin Keys, Laquan Robinson, if you count him as a linebacker. Like they've lost a lot in this room, and those guys played a ton of snaps. I mean, let's look at the amount of snaps that they lost last year. Robert Woodyard played 118. You obviously retain him.
Mm-hmm.
Austin Keys played 399. Dori Mausi played 619. Eugene Asante played 512. Gote played 43. Like that's a lot of snaps that you're having to replace. And the guys that are coming back, Woodyard played 118. DJ Barber played 2. And then where is Riddick? Riddick played 237.
See,
like, there's some experience there, but
a little bit. But I think Riddick could have. I think he could have played more last year. I think that was just something that they were trying to ease him in. And
had so many seniors. He's had so many.
And even this is going to really make a lot of people mad because they're big fans of him. But Eugene, I thought, actually had a better year the year before than he did last year. And I think last year he over pursued quite a bit more. So
I agree with that. Yeah.
Maybe somebody can step in.
Mausi was Auburn's best linebacker last year until Riddick came along. And then I felt better with Riddick than anybody else. But among the seniors, Mausi was the biggest loss, 100%.
Do we have anybody that can sneakily jump in there? Maybe that's an oversized safety that you could move down at some point, kind of like we do with Riddick? Or is this what you're stuck with? If this is what you're stuck with, then yes, next portal window, linebacker is a must, or if not 2, just for depth reasons.
I don't think so.
You're not seeing it. Nobody big enough to slide down and play
How
that
big
role.
is Tay Seymour?
I mean, it's a big ask because Riddick did it because Riddick's a super freak. Like he's just an athlete and he's a ball hawk, so he's going to be around the football at all times.
Tay Seymour's 5'11", 205, and most importantly, Eric Singleton's roommate. Most important thing. Let's talk about what this could look like next in just a moment, right here on Locked On Auburn. Today's show brought to you by our friends at Game Time. Game Time's the best place to buy tickets. It doesn't matter what it's for. Ben, what time is it? Just real quick.
Game Time.
There it is. Look, nobody wants to spend more money on tickets, whether it's the football, basketball, baseball, even non-sports stuff, a concert, the theater, comedy shows. Everybody wants to spend less money, and they don't want to spend a bunch of time comparing ticket prices. Game Time's got you covered. You're going to spend less money there. You're going to get $20 off with our promo code. And they've got the price match guarantee. They're good for it. You're not going to find tickets cheaper in the same section or row anywhere else. And if you do, call them out on it, and they will reimburse you the difference and some, 100%. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONCollege, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code Locked On College for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Ben, what time is it?
Game time.
Yes. Let me ask you this. Can you imagine buying furniture anywhere other than Wayfair? My
wife really loves that website.
Yeah, mine does too. And we all love Wayfair here.
Just gonna say they ought to send the check to me because she has spent plenty of time on that website.
Well, so I'm sure she would agree. I'm sure you would agree. I agree. I mean, we're all sitting here and we're like, man, our home needs the refresh going into 2025. Whether it's the aura, whether it's there's a word for it. Is it like feng shui or whatever? Wayfair can help you. Whether it's decorative items, whether it's our dining room table is from Wayfair that we eat breakfast and dinner on every time. We're like, man, Wayfair just giving us memories every single day for the rest of our lives. All at wayfair.com. Be sure to check them out. Give your home the refresh it needs with Wayfair. Head to wayfair.com right now. That is WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. Kyle sang the jingle earlier today. Do you want to?
No, I don't know the jingle.
Okay. Thank you so much for making Locked On Auburn your first listen every single day. Ben Taylor of the Auburn Network hanging out with us this afternoon. Which guy do you think, okay, you look at the linebacker room, we'll stay on the topic of linebackers.
Okay.
Which guy I think is I think Xavier Atkins is the biggest X factor. One, because his name starts with an X, but also I think he has the widest range of potential outcomes. He's he's unproven, but his traits are fantastic. Like he could totally get buried, or he could totally be like this rising star this spring. I think he's the X factor, not just because his name starts with an X.
He's the JP Pegues of football. This is what we think. We're getting a lot of potential. If it doesn't pan out, like you said, he gets buried. If it does pan out, he could turn into Chad Baker-Mazara of basketball. So it is something that, because everything's immeasurable right now. Like Chad Baker coming a smaller program, we don't know what we're getting. Now all of a sudden he's like one of the MVPs of our team. JP Pegues, who was a star at his position wherever he was, now he's here and he ain't seeing the floor at all, so he got buried.
Yeah, I guess the hole in that analogy is like JJ Pegues played a ridiculous amount at Furman. And
yes,
Xavier Atkins did not really play at LSU. That's why I made that face. It's like not really the same thing. But I get what you're saying, though. I get it.
Yeah, I mean, it's unproven. We don't know what we're going to get. He may come in and be an all-star. I mean, we may be talking about this guy in spring and going, okay, so maybe his measurables are off the charts. Like clearly the coaching staff saw something in him whenever they looked at his tape and thought, this is something we can work with. If we get him to do this and this and this, we can really make a difference. So he's going to be a body in the room. How good of a body he's going to be in the room, we don't know yet. And you know, Zach, I'll tell you, that linebacker position, anytime I look at it, I think it's also what's in between the ears as much as it is what it is physically, just because they have the ability to change a game with being able to make reads, being able to move defensive linemen around in front of them to say, hey, go here instead. And so
we don't know if Xavier has, we don't know if he has it or not. He hasn't played enough. And that's kind of like my gut reaction, like with Elijah Melendez.
Yeah. Like
he may have that. He may totally have that between the years. I mean, he seems like just a complete package. I mean, he just should not look like that at 17 or 18 years old. I mean, he is just like, he looks like a college linebacker already, and he plays like it. So I think that's certainly one. But yeah, Xavier Atkins, if DJ Durkin wants you on his defense, like I've said this with other guys, and I don't want to be inconsistent with saying this, like I trust DJ Durkin. And if DJ Durkin's looking at Xavier Atkins, like he clearly thinks the upside is worth it, 100%.
And I wonder, not just him, I do wonder if DJ, and I know that it's because they're highly rated, and that's why I brought him in, but you were talking about the true freshman earlier, and the true freshman stepping up. I wonder, out of the three of them that are in there, which one of them that Durkin thinks, listen, I'm telling you, you're going to see them on the field quite a bit this year. And they're physically gifted. We just got to get them used to the speed of the game, and get him in here and put him in the right position to be successful. So clearly he sees something, but I still go back to what you said at the very beginning, where you mentioned what happens if Riddick goes down. What happens if Woodyard stays injured for 4 games and we need somebody to fill in? I still think there needs to be a warm body in the room from the portal or a graduate transfer or something of that nature.
I'm with you. Yeah, they need more. They need more for sure. And so we will discuss that over the course of the next few months as Auburn, we're shifting to recruiting now, but when the portal opens after spring, that'll be a big topic of conversation for sure. Ben Taylor, how can people check out everything you've got going on?
AUnetwork.com. You can also download the Radio Alabama app. We do a show each and every morning, one that Zach is very familiar with, between 6 and 9 on Auburn Opelika this morning. And we do sports just after 7.
Yes, 3 long years of waking up every day at 3 a.m. Miss the people.
Yeah.
Don't miss that part of the job. That's for sure. All the respect in the world to you, my friend.
I don't
please
like 3 a.m., by the way, for those of you.
Yeah, they changed the structure after I left. I'm like, are you kidding me?
There's like a whole hour later. I get up at 4
a.m. 2 hours less of prep every morning now. Unbelievable. Like that was an option? Whatever. Yeah. Like the video. Please subscribe. We'll see you next time. This has been Locked On Auburn.